Welcome to my channel BornToReddit. Am I the a-hole for wanting my daughter's boyfriend slash soon-to-be fiancé to know her dark secret before marriage? I'm the dad of a 25-year-old young woman who I love very much. I've been able to have a good relationship with my daughter, and I enjoy my time with her. But there's one thing about her that would give many people pause: she is a diagnosed sociopath. She exhibited odd, disturbing behavior at a young age, and after a serious incident of abuse towards her younger sister, I realized she needed professional help. Throughout her elementary years she struggled heavily, getting in lots of trouble in school for lying, cruelty, and all other types of misbehaviors. With an enormous amount of therapy and support, her bad behavior was minimized as she grew older. She received an ASPD diagnosis at 18, and I had suspected it for long prior. After her aggressive behavior was tamed, her following years were much more fruitful. She's law-abiding, has a decent job and a good education, and has many good friendships and admirers. Especially male admirers. She is very, very charming and adept at attracting guys and maintaining their interest. She uses that old dating guide, the rules, like a Bible. She currently has a boyfriend of about a year and a half who's crazy about her, and who I have a very strong relationship with. We live in the same area and spend time together regularly. He is a great guy, very kind, funny and intelligent. But I doubt she loves him. We've had some very honest, in-depth discussions about her mental health since her diagnosis, and she's been open with me that she doesn't feel love or empathy towards anyone, even family. When she acted very sad and broken up over the death of one of her closest friends at the funeral, she confessed to me privately that it was all a put-on, and that she felt pretty neutral about the whole thing. She has also stated she has never once felt guilty about anything she's ever done, and doesn't know what guilt feels like. While she enjoys being around her boyfriend and is sexually attracted to him, I highly doubt she feels much of anything towards him love-wise. Her boyfriend, who might propose soon, has no idea about her diagnosis, and she's been very upfront with me that she has no plans to ever tell him, thinking it'll scare him away. I've made it clear to her that she needs to tell him the truth before they marry, that he has the right to know and consider it, or I will, to which she always responds, "I know you wouldn't dare." I really like and respect this young man, and would feel awful keeping this secret from him, and letting him walk into a marriage without this piece of knowledge. I'm not trying to sabotage my daughter's future. Maybe her boyfriend's love of her personality and other aspects is enough that it won't end the relationship. It's his decision to make, but he deserves all the facts. Someday he's bound to find out she's a bit off. It can't be kept a secret forever. Am I the a-hole? Wow. That's the hardest "am I the a-hole" I've read in a long time. You're ethically compromised either way. It's probably best you stay out of it. I think the guy needs to know, deserves to know, but what if it does destroy the relationship? I can't imagine what it could mean for OP to have his sociopath daughter be very angry at him. Damn OP, I'm so sorry. Not the a-hole, but I don't know if you should follow through with telling him or not. Am I the a-hole for not teaching a skill to my oldest son that I taught his siblings because of the custody arrangement? This has quite literally fractured my family. I have an older son from my first marriage who's now 24. I have two younger kids from my current marriage who are 21-year-old twins. My divorce occurred right after my son was born. Over the years, my visitation has been primarily summers and holidays since my ex-wife moved to a different state. I have a particular skill set and was very good at, and all three of my kids have expressed interest in it. Unfortunately, I have only been able to meaningfully teach it to my younger kids. This was because to make my visitation with my older son more memorable, I would do camping/vacations, etc. I didn't have time to teach him properly. Also, anything I did try to teach him was forgotten and not practiced because he lived in an apartment with his mother. The major issue now is that my younger kids have started a company after high school using this skill. I provided the initial funds, and as such have a 33% stake in it. This company has really soared this past year, and it's making a lot of money. My older son graduated from college, and is doing a job he hates, and is not exactly making a lot of money, especially compared to his siblings. Part of this is my fault because he did ask to take a few years off after high school, and maybe have me teach him what I knew, but my wife was battling cancer at the time, and I told him I couldn't. And now, I'm not well enough to teach anymore. He is now telling me to include him in this company as an equal partner. That he'll do the finances. This was not received well by his siblings, who say they do basically 95% of the work. And that he didn't struggle in the earlier years to get it running. I'm really at a loss here. I thought of just giving my share of the company to my oldest son, but it does seem unfair to his siblings who started this company in the first place. My oldest has become very bitter about this, and has involved my parents. They are taking his side, and now my younger kids are resentful that their grandparents have been turned against them. Our Sunday family lunches are no longer happening, and I'm having to see my oldest for dinner on other days. And every time I see him, I'm getting accused of not treating him fairly. It kills me because I made so many compromises to have him in my life in a meaningful way. He accused me on Saturday of pushing him out my new family and loving his siblings more. I haven't been able to sleep since. Should I have done all this differently? Not the a-hole with the scales kind of tipping towards your eldest on the a-hole front. I get that he's bitter and feels like he missed out. The grass is always greener. Why isn't he holding his mother responsible for moving him to another state? He's not holding himself responsible for not practicing what you did teach him. I'm guessing he went to college and the twins did not? That iniquity doesn't seem to vex him. It's really in a whole move for him to involve your parents. It's possible that nothing would ever actually satisfy your eldest because what he wants is something you can't give. In my family we call it the pound of flesh, after the Merchant of Venice. Pound of flesh required would be your heart. He wants the do-over. He wants you to pay for his notion that he is loved less. Am I the a-hole because I ate more than my share of a 6-foot party sub last night? What I thought would be a total non-issue has ballooned into a huge problem, and I'm up at 7:05 a.m. dealing with it. I figured while I wait for a text, I could post here to see if what I did was really that bad. I'm a big fat A, there's no way around it. I love to eat, which probably borders on addiction, but I figure since I'm only hurting myself it's probably better to just live my life. I have some great friends, although there is no doubt I'm the harmless, funny token fat guy of the otherwise pretty good looking group. I guess that sets the stage enough. Last night my friend hosted UFC, and I was invited. He got a 6-foot party sub. I also brought homemade wings that are sort of my specialty. Well, of course people flocked to the food and I had basically one serving of the sandwich, but people devoured my wings, and I didn't get to have a single one. Which is totally fine, that's why I brought them, but maybe an hour later I was starving. I kept eyeing the sandwich, and I'd say there was about 3 feet of it left. I waited an hour, then another half hour, and no one had touched it, but they were still munching on chips, pretzels, and whatnot. So I was like, screw it. I took about half of what was left and ate it. Then the last half sat for another 10 to 15 minutes, and no one said anything, so ate the rest. Well, to be sure, as I was swallowing the last bite, the host's girlfriend asked where the sandwich was. Like I was the guilty party, pretty much everyone pointed at me. I guess they'd noticed me eating the sandwich. She was furious and said that I was an incredible pig, and that I had been super selfish to eat 3 feet of a sandwich. I felt so bad. I tried to explain to her that I really did wait over an hour and thought people had lost interest. I also tried to explain how everyone had ate my wings, and she said something along the lines of, "You brought them to share, Alan. If someone had eaten over half by themselves, that's not freaking sharing, is it?" I offered to order pizza or even go get Subways, and she said that it was a pathetic offer because the party sub had been from a local shop owned by her friends. I said I was sorry, but the night was so tense from then on out. I woke up this morning to several texts from my twin sisters, the host's girlfriend's best friends, saying that I had to get my shit under control, and that everyone is really mad at me, and that I embarrassed myself last night. I tried to explain to them what my mindset had been, and they haven't responded. Was I the a-hole for eating that much of the sandwich last night? You're the a-hole. Eat before you go to a party so you don't do that again. I'm also a heavy eater. I'd never even consider eating that much of something at a party or get together. Letting it sit for an hour doesn't mean anything. Others might have just been waiting to grab it after the fight. You said in a comment you polished it off during the fight. The wings prove the point. You were bummed that others ate all the wings, and you didn't get a chance to have any, just like the people complaining about the sandwich they brought. Yep, the texts from his sisters definitely makes it seem like him eating way more than his share is a common occurrence. Eating 4 feet of sandwich may have been the final straw. OP should take this as the wake-up call that his food addiction is not as harmless as he thinks it is. Even on the Subway website, a 6 feet party sub should feed 20 to 25 people. And I'm assuming that this sub was better than Subway's. I hope this is a wake-up call for OP. Share your best a-hole story in the comments. And don't forget, subscribe or I'll insert tiny little pieces of shattered glass directly into your pee hole.